Y'all, alright, so this is part 2 of how to leave a narcissistic relationship for good. I left a toxic relationship that nearly destroyed me, started picking up the pieces, reconnected with family and friends, and just when life felt like it was coming back together, I lost everything in a fire. My mental health hit a wall, so I packed what was left of my life and moved to Thailand. Now, I help others rebuild too, because healing is possible and peace is real. Y'all, alright, so this is part 2 of how to leave a narcissistic relationship for good. I also wanted to preface this by saying that until this moment, I had no mental strength. I didn't have the mental capacity to leave at all. I was either going to die there, either from getting sick to death, or one of us was going to go to jail, point blank. So that one night when he took his rage out on me, that was enough to light the fire up under my ass to make the move to get the fuck out of there. So it came to the point where I had to call my dad, and I was nervous to do so because, like I said, my family was isolated. They knew something was going on with me, but they didn't know exactly what was going on. So when I called my dad, I had to explain to him everything. And when I tell you, I had to convince my dad not to drive from Atlanta to Texas, because my dad don't play about me. He's my protector. When he found out that that was going on, he wanted to come take care of. He wanted to throw them bows. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Nonetheless, I had to convince him not to do it. I told him I got it. Just let me know what I needed to do. So he did send me the money, the money that he thought that I may need to leave. The first thing I did, just acting out of faith, is I called movers to schedule to come and get my shit on Friday. And mind you, it was Tuesday. I had also reached out to my son. Now, my son had front row seats. He didn't know everything that was going on, but he did know that he didn't like boy, and then he also kept trying to get me to leave for a little while. So when I gave him the call to let him know, can you please start looking at places, he was all for it, and that's exactly what he did for me. I was at risk of losing my job because I had low productivity. I didn't have any more time off because I took a lot of time off due to my mental health, and there was a couple of sabotage moments in there. But my boss did work with me because I had to explain a little bit of what was going on to make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? So I called the movers, and they were scheduled to come on a Friday. And mind you, it was winter. It was February. We had snowstorms coming in and out. So on Wednesday, we got the call that I've been waiting for. I got it while I was working, that we did secure the house that we wanted. Hallelujah, right? Then once we got that confirmed, I went ahead and rented my hall and planned to get everything out the house on Saturday. Movers called because of the snowstorm, had to move it to Sunday, and I was not happy about it, but it is what it was. So over the next couple of days, I avoided any interactions with him. I avoided any kind of conflict or anything to keep the peace in the house from the rest of the time, but I did not let him know what I was doing. Friday comes, and we're not talking. He's giving me the silent treatment again. I don't care. At this point, I'm just ready to go. He doesn't know exactly what's going on. He just knows I'm making a lot of phone calls. I made sure that I was out of earshot so he can't know what I was doing. So Friday, after I got off work, I packed my whole workstation, cleared out that whole office area. He was gone, so I took that full opportunity to go through the house from top to bottom, every inch of the house I could find in the house, like the shed and the backyard, the garage, every single room, the bedroom, the closets, the bathrooms, the laundry room, every single thing. There was not one thing at all of mine, so that when I did leave, if any reason he was able to get in contact with me, there would be no reason to. I also decided not to stay there that Friday. I wanted to be able to take care of everything without any interaction. So that Friday, after I packed everything and went through the house, I went and stayed with a friend overnight so that I can go straight to the hall the next morning. That morning, I got the call. I had my son, and I told him, drive by over there. Just want to make sure he was gone, because remember that last night from part 1, he was going to Houston that weekend. My son went over there. He did call me and say he's walking around the house, which is, for me, I was like, okay, he's probably checking the perimeter before he takes off. Is he dressed? He's dressed. All right, just make sure he leaves and let me know when the coast is clear. I had my call and I pulled up into the gas station in the neighborhood, sat and waited for the coast to be clear. Son calls and tells me that oh boy saw him and motioned him over and asked him where I was. My son told him he didn't know where I was. The boy was very condescending from what I understand. He didn't believe him, had him roll down the back window to make sure I wasn't in the car. He finally leaves. My son said, Mom, coast is clear. So I wait a couple minutes. I'm like, cool. I make my way over there, and lo and behold, he drives past me and he sees the hall. So you know what happens next, right? And the reason why he was able to do that is when he left, my son thought the coast was clear. Boy probably went around the corner and sat and waited for me to show up, and then probably waited a little bit, said, oh, maybe she's still on the way, let me just go ahead and go, and then saw me on his way out. He turns around, comes back to the house as I'm back, and he called into his driveway to get he gets out, my son gets out, thank God, and he said something to me along the lines on, why are you doing this lame shit, or something like that. And I just let him know I'm getting my shit. He had owed me money, so I had asked him to pay me back my money before he left. He told me that he wasn't going to until I returned his property. His property, a pew. Because I didn't trust him, I took his pew a few months back, dismantled it, the magazine and everything, hid it in places in his house, but he wouldn't think to look. That, for me, was my safety. So I told him I will give him his piece back, and I want him to keep his word and give me my shit back. So he finally leaves because there was no reason to pay to see. My son was right there. He couldn't do anything about it. He also tells me I needed to shampoo his carpets. I'm like, motherfucker, I ain't doing shit. The carpets were worse off when we moved in. So why am I going to do that? What? And fuck that. You can keep the money and use that to clean the damn carpets. How about that? Anyways, me and my son took the call that Saturday, and we got everything out that we could handle ourselves into the U-Haul. Took it to the house. I had AAA. Remember, I was saying my car wasn't running, so I had AAA, and my AAA towed my car with all my stuff in there and to the new house. That Sunday, the movers came, and I told them, I advised them, if he shows up here, do not disclose where I'm at, my number, nothing. No, cool. Got out of there and took everything, did a whole double, triple check, make sure nothing was left behind. After I left his key, I texted him and I said, your key is here. I found his pew, put it back and put it on his table in his room to let him know that's what it was. He bought me some ugly ass shoes and I left them motherfuckers there too. And I told him we need to call T-Mobile because he refused to take me off his phone line. I asked so many times and he would not take me off of his phone line. So what I did, I started a new account and I changed numbers and let him know my numbers changed. You need to figure that out, the bill out with T-Mobile. Your key's on the thing, your pew is on the thing. Have a nice life. Didn't even wait for a response, blocked him and never went back. Now, when we got to the new home, it was surreal because just the night before I was feeling like I was going to die literally because I was so mentally drained. I was so mentally done. I was tired. It was cold. I don't know if it was intentional, but he wouldn't use the heater in the snowstorm. So in the guest room the last night I was there, I was cold as hell that Thursday. But Friday I stayed at a friend's house. Saturday stayed at this friend's house and then moved everything on that weekend. And that's how I was able to get out of there in a week, and I never got my money back either.